But today I would like to introduce Dr. Yu, whose title of his talk today is Sociocultural Effects of Returnee Overseas Filipino Workers in the Philippines. Dr. Yu, sorry, let me just pull up your bio over here. Gained his PhD from Macquarie University in Sydney in 1998. He earlier worked as a public servant at the Australian Department of Immigration and Multicultural and Indigenous Affairs, and used to be on the academic staff of Macquarie University, the University of Sydney, and the University of Western Sydney. Between 2006 and 2015, he was an assistant professor and associate professor in the geography department at Hong Kong Baptist University. His research includes international development, sociocultural studies, and environmental issues in the Pacific Islands, Australia, China, and Southeast Asia. He published a number of articles in a range of international journals, such as Cultural Geography, Journal for Cultural Research, Environmental Management, Energy Policy, and Cities. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Yu to today's CERC seminar.
Thanks very much for coming to my talk. And today, during my talk, I will follow this introduction, aims and objectives, theories, and this hypothesis, method, study areas, results and discussion, then conclusion. In the early 1900s, overseas Filipino workers started working overseas in the United States as agriculture laborers. Since the 1970s, OFWs have become major source of international labor migrants. Each year, particularly this census that time, each year around 1 million people go out from Philippines to more than 192 countries, become these labor migrants. As a cycle, we understand as a cycle, many of these OFWs return home after this contract, after contract. However, little research on return labor migration, in particularly not this sociocultural effects and reintegration issues has been working out, have been looked at. So this is why I want to take some research to look at these aspects. We understand many people, many research is working on this labor migrant. Most research is to look at, so when they go overseas, so what's the problem they have. So most of this research is about very few researches to look at when they go back. What's the issue, especially this cultural issue and social issue, to impact them and also impact their local communities. My aims to this research is to examine social culture influence of this return overseas labor migrants, to help them better reintegrate into their local communities and to promote research into return labor migration. This is my aims. And objectives, I have 3 objectives for this research. 1, to compare changes of those returnees in personal identities, social behaviors, family ties, and religion attitudes. Second one, to analyze comments made by both locals and returnees. The final one, to identify main issues occurred in reintegration. Okay, I have these three objectives to look at these issues. Probably I want to introduce a little bit of background about these areas. Okay, because at the beginning, in the 2000, some people say, such as this Betty Stella, she just thought this social culture change of returnees probably is not very important issues, because during this contract, so those migrants, okay, every 2 years they went back, and so she thought this is not probably is not big issues. And another one is American social scientist Transner. So he based on research about Japan's returnees in the major areas. During that time, a lot of these Japanese labor migrants went to Hawaii. Okay, working the Hawaii, these farmers. After 10 years, some people after 10 years, even more than 10 years, when they go back Japan, okay, they don't have any this kind of social culture change. So based on this, they say that probably when these labor migrants go back, no culture, social changes. But I have different idea. Okay, based on my research in the South Pacific, I find this is maybe we have to look at other things. Okay, I have different idea, especially this today this OFWs exposed to foreigners' social cultural values almost every day, 7 days. Okay, each day 24 hours and 7 days a week. So definitely they will have quite a lot of influenced by these foreign social and cultures. Those type of values will influence their daily life and communities after their return. And other things, also I understand the returnees will have some problems to reintegrate into their local communities. Okay, so this is basically, I have this kind of hypothesis. During this research, I adopted two main theories. Theory one is about this transnationalism. So probably, maybe your guys know this lady. Oh, sorry. So Gleb Shelley defined this transnationalism. Transnationalism is a process by which immigrants build social fields that link together their country of origin and their country of settlement. Transnational connections, talk about transnational connections, have economic, social, culture, and political impacts on migrants, their families or groups back homes, and more localities where they live. Okay. And theory two, that is habitus. Habitus refers to the lifestyle, values, dispositions, and expectations of social groups that are acquired through the activities and experience of everyday life. Okay, in here I want to mention this Pierre Bourdieu. Pierre Bourdieu is the French social scientist and professor. He valued habitus with 3 capitals. That is, economical capitals means money and property rights. Second one, social capital. Social capital means network, social connections. And another one is talk about cultural capitals. So means symbolic assets that a person has, such as education degree, religion, accent, race, and building styles. Now, I want to point out here transnationalism and habitats. So these two theories is widely adopted in the research of sociology, like anthropology, geography, and international politics. My research method include the field survey, in-depth face-to-face interviews, and open to all overseas job sectors and genders. Just here, I want to talk a little bit about this point. My research, I just try to open to look at the people when they go overseas. These people come back not only working overseas, as we talk about this home. We talk about this housekeepers, or we are talking about all of the sectors, like processing workers, we talk about this caregivers, okay, and the genders, okay. Most of the time we understand people talk about the Philippines migrants always focus on gender issues, but for my research, I just want to say, okay, to look at both sides, okay, not only the women, also the men include, okay, from the two gender, to look at these issues, not just the gender studies. And other things to comparison of views from both returnees and the locals. If we just focus on just listen to the locals, probably we couldn't get this full pictures. Okay, only got one side story, so it's not good to get the really what's the real issues. And the other thing, another one, the village-based community approach. So I think that's quite important for this research. Oh, sorry. Because if you want to compare, to find out what's happened, what's changed before and after they return home. So what's happened in their family ties and personal identities, who understand them better. So I think this is village people. Okay, so this is why we have to look at this village-based community, and so we can get this quite a reasonable feedback. Study areas. I chose this four barangay areas. That's in two provinces. So one is in the Nueva Ecija province, and another one is the Nagula province. Okay, here I just want to mention about this barangay. Okay, about this barangay. Probably, maybe you're not too familiar barangay this term. Barangay, that's in Philippines government administration structure. Okay, they have a national government. Yeah, have national government, province, city, or municipalities, and the fourth level is the barangay. Just like we understand those kind of this neighbor's government response this village, and also talk about in urban areas, that's the districts. Okay, this is the lowest government. Just quickly have a look at these two places, okay? Just quickly look at these two places. This Nueva Ecija and the Laguna, that is in Luzon, okay, in Luzon. And both, okay, I just want to say this, okay, to first get a little bit more idea. Kabbalah City, okay, Kabbalah City is roughly about 110 kilometers from north of Metro Manila. This is the bay, okay, this is Laguna, okay, Laguna province. Laguna is roughly about 70 kilometers south of Metro Manila. Why I choose these two provinces as my study areas? First of all, Philippines labor migrants, about 80% of these labor migrants come from this Luzon areas. Come from this Luzon. Okay, this is one reason. Second one, okay, and second one, I want to choose these two places you can compare. Otherwise, if I just choose one place, maybe people is going to criticize, why you just choose this province, how about the other province? So this is why I choose two. And another thing, I think it's quite important because I need to do a lot of this field work. I need to interview these returnees and also local communities. If I don't know anyone, when I go there, if I get there, it's really hard for me start to interview people. So fortunately, when we're in Hong Kong, I know people like these domestic helpers. They, some people they from this place. Okay, they introduce me their like friends, also their family members. They said okay, they can help me to conduct this type of interviews. So this is why I chose these two places. Okay, to conduct this survey in this province, okay, in Nueva Ecija province, start between 4th and 10 April 2010. In Laguna province, start okay between the 2 and the 10th June, okay, same years. Total participant, how many participants I select is 106. So that's include 50 returnees and 56 community members. Okay. Actually, I interview at the start, at the beginning, is much more than probably 200 or 300. But I have the requirement to which one can become this participant. The returnees have to work overseas for at least 3 years. And return home, at least they need more than 2 years. Okay. Why have this requirement? Just make sure these labor migrants, okay, when they're working overseas, they have enough time to understand to get to know about the foreign social and cultural values, and also when they come home, they need time, at least 6 months or 1 year, they can readjust it. And also take time to these local community members to figure out so what's happened with these returnees. Okay, so they need time. So I chose that one. Actually, before I chose 5 years, but later on I find it very hard to find those people. So I have to reduce to this this type of time limited. mostly conducted, okay, during my interview, mostly conducted in this English. Okay, most of the Philippine people, they can speak English, but only 5 need Tagalog interpretation. Interview time, so it depends. Okay, it's between 20 and 60 minutes. Okay, for each. This table, I just want to just quickly show this table. Okay, table 1 show interviews, returnees. Okay, where they go. Okay, which location they go, and what type of job they carry out in overseas. Just have a quick look. Okay, 15 people went to Japan, Middle East. 9 people. Also have a look at this. Some people went to Singapore, Canada, and 7 people, they went to not only just one place, also they went to maybe more than 2 or 3 different locations. For example, some people first work in Hong Kong, later on work in Singapore, then the Middle East. So 7 people have this type of working experience. Mostly this occupation. Okay, the 22 people take this domestic helpers, and some is extenders, entertainers, factory workers, and nurse, midwife, technicians, and even like a driver. Okay, totally 50. And table 2 just very quickly to show what type of community members I discuss with them. So you can see city and barangay officers, 7 people, and also you have a look here, a lot of neighbors and parents, child, husband or wife of returnees. And other things you can say school teacher, journalist. There is farmers, police, national officers. And also migration researchers, business owners, some professors. Okay, so that's cover very wide, very broad range of communities members. So why I choose that? Because I want to get the very reasonable comments or feedback from these communities. During this interview, during this discussion, I used 2 sets of questions. 2 sets. One set question is for these returnees. So you can say, okay, for just that question, for how long have you worked overseas? So when did you come back? Okay. So second one, do you have any changes in your personality, family ties, social behavior, and the religions? Okay. 3, what useful skills and knowledge have you learned from overseas? And question 5, have you had any reintegration problems since your return? How can government, NGO, local communities help you to reintegrate into these local societies? The table 4, so you can say the table 4 is for these local community members, because I want to get the feedback from both sides. So questions, so you can say the question is quite similar. Okay, for example, is there any changes in the returnees' personal identity, family ties, those kind of questions? So which social culture effects or changes of returnees do you like or dislike? And what's the main problems those kind of returnees have facing when they into the local communities? How can government, NGOs help them reintegrate these local societies? Okay, these 2 sets of questions. Here is some photos, just to show when I work in this field work. Okay, in the field work, this is in this Nova Sejaya. This is the province. Here I just want to say this lady. Okay, this lady working overseas, first in Egypt, in Israel, then working there for 8 years. When she back to home, she couldn't find a job. What she's doing? She went back to school, finished her degree, like a nurse degree. And here one is the teachers. So this lady. So this lady, so she's like a high school teacher, and these two ladies, she's working in Japan as like entertainers. Okay, I had an interview with to them, and I'm looking here. So this lady, so in 1986 went to Libya, working there 5 years. Then come back, become this business lady, okay, had this building like factories, become quite famous, quite successful, and here, particularly this lady, I want to point out, this lady, so she's originally she's working here, working in the Saigon for many years, okay, or more than 10 years. And that time, when I go back to do this field work, so she went back for her daughter's like a graduate ceremony. And she helped me to talk to this other returnees and the domestic and the community members. And this picture I want to show. I just want to show this some migrant daughters finishes the master degree. They have this kind of congratulation. So I just want to say those people they are very like to treat this education very important. Okay, so I find it very hard to see this. Okay, when your daughter get the master degree, so they're going to put it like this. But in there, you will see this, okay? And so this picture, so this is just in capital twin cities, they have a church office. This lady is Sister Sue. Sister Sue helped me to introduce to many other returnees and this community members. And particularly this lady, I want to mention. This lady, so she before she worked in the Hong Kong 12 years, actually live around the Cotton Town areas, and so she introduced, tell me many things about these people return home. So what's the problem they have, or also what's the very important thing they should do, and that this lady, she's come back from the Middle East too. Like this nurse, so when she come back, she's got a job in the local hospital, become a nurse, and her husband is still working overseas, and this is her second house. She had a new, before had a very good house, this is the second one, but not everyone is so lucky. Okay, you have a look. So this lady, she's come back from South Korea. Before she working there as this processing worker in factories. So when she come back, she couldn't find a job. More than 5 years, she still stay in her families. And church office, they have a church office. They said to me, they tell me, so what the people, returnees, before they went overseas, and what it looks like, and after they come back, okay, so they still is very actively involved in this church activities. But this lady working in the capital town city as like a department. she's working the social affairs, this department. She said to me a lot of like negative things about these returnees. When they come back, they have a lot of people got sick, and they still use a lot of resource from this paravans, from the local council, from the cities, and also gave these communities a huge problem. So this lady said to me, come to this Laguna place, okay? This Laguna Lake, okay, Laguna Lake, and this is in one barangay. We talk about the Kalo barangay, and here I want to show you guys. So I just want to show you guys. So have a look here. So people live there. Okay, mostly people, countryside, village people. They live is the house, and but this one, some is quite good. This returnees, they live in this. So this 1 million peso, okay, roughly about 200,000, roughly 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. But some people can, returnees people, they can have this type of house. And here, so one lady is in 1990s. In 1990s, she went to Taiwan as factory workers. Come back in 2000, early 2000. Then she became this working the barangay officer. This lady is one parent, okay, returnee's parent. And so, okay, in this lady, I want to mention this lady, okay. She's a very talent in terms of like a small business investment. Actually, in 1986, when she worked in Hong Kong, she already started doing some small business. Then she went to Singapore and the Middle East, returned home around 2004, and she's now, during my interview, she's already had some small business and also gave this financial advice to other people. Here, this is in university, okay, talk about the University of Philippines. I went there, discuss issues with some professors. This on the Manila City Street, talk to this like traffic officers. Last is the National Department of Overseas Filipinos Department. Talk about this in the very general issues to have this have very good this discussion and what government should do and what's the problem so they facing for this local returnees they facing. And so this type of field work and interviews just make my research I find it very useful. Otherwise I find it very hard to reach some like a conclusion. Okay, just have a quick look at this this results. Results you can see here. We talk about this personal identity. Okay, personal identity is 81 response said more independent and confident for this returnees. So we should understand this. Okay. Like a Filipinos, domestic helper or other labor migrants, before they went overseas, they are not so independent, okay? They're not so confident. But when they come back home, 81 people said, okay, they become more independent and confident. About family ties, 96 one said there is no change, okay? About this social behaviors, social behaviors, okay, the 61 said is less sociable, because before Filipino people is very, very sociable, but when they come back, 61 said is less sociable. The bad time is better time and financial management, low change, 19s, only 5 become more sociable. How about the religions? Religions attitudes, 71 people said no change. Okay, so 31 becomes stronger belief, and 4 people say there's less belief. Okay, but in here I feel, before I thought religions, they may change a lot. Before I do this research, why I have that kind of thought? I said that when they go overseas, they get big money, they get quite a lot of money. When they get enough money, probably they're not too care about the religion. Just like today, those days, when you have a look at this Australia, like this Western countries, particularly Australia, okay, not many people like go to church, okay. So this I thought, okay, when their life becomes better, probably they don't go to church more. But in this case, I find it's quite different. I talked to the people. I said, why your guys still want to go to church? And because they said to me, they are very, very religious. Since they're very young, they go to church. When they're working overseas, they have, in some place, they have limitations. They cannot go to church anytime as you want to. But when they go back, so they have more time, and also they don't have this type of limitation, so they can go to church more. Okay. About this social behaviors, okay, social behaviors. Also, some people say that some local people said, because those people, returnees, become arrogant, don't want to talk to people. But when I talk to this returnees, I said, this is true. People say that you are become arrogant, or this is not true. They say because we want to spend more time with my families, and also we want to use more time to run business. So this is why we didn't spend much more time. So this is why they thought that we have become this arrogant or something like that. Okay. My research is one important one. I have looked at the social cultural effects on local society. Okay. So I find, okay, during this research, I find this what's the positive one? Okay, positive effect. There have those kind of positive effects, such as support local development. Also, people find this returnees become more creative, independent, diligent. Wise use of time and money, follow laws and policies. About follow laws and policies, before many people, local people, they're not really have this concept about follow laws. But they say they find this returnees, when they go back, so if they have when they dealing these issues, dealing business or dealing some other issues, they like to use this law to think, based on the policy, to do work. Also, they mentioned to me, some local people mentioned to me, when they cross the road, so they have to wait to look at these signals, before they just go. Okay. And open to foreign cultures, encouraging education. Most of these returnees, they always encourage their family members, their children, their sister or brothers, children go to school and hope them to finish study. So that's the local people think this is a positive effect, encouraging education. how about the negative one? Negative one, mostly they talk about this arrogant, before I already mentioned this, okay? And also broken families, smoking and drink. Smoking, drink means smoking alcohol, and, smoking, that's drugs, okay, talk about drugs. Drinking alcohol, and unfaithful spouse become more this materialistic, self-centered, become more self-centered. Children spoiled. There are many people said to me, okay, oh, this returnees, because they had money, the children want to get something, they just give to them, no matter they need or not. I talked to these returnees, and they said, this probably is right, probably true, because they thought when they go overseas, the children very, very young, so they just feel they are they owe, they feel so sorry to the children. Now when they come back, so if the children want to get something, if they can, they just do everything to support them. So this become, people thought this children spoiled. And other things, egotic, talking, hair coloring, and also about the dress. And when I talked to these people, I said, the local community member, I said, this is their personal, their private things. I said, why you guys too fussy about this? But they said, that into this local community, we just feel very, very uncomfortable. They have this, when they're talking, they have use some accent or hair coloring, the color we don't like. So this sense they feel is negative one. Okay, in here I want to mention here. Okay, I want to make it clear here. I'm not here as a judge. So which one is correct or wrong? I just want to represent these local communities, what's their feedback or comments. Okay, about the medical social costs on this illness and sexual disease. Okay, also is they thought there's negative effects. Okay. And also during this research I found the 4 issues. That's regard this reintegration 4 issues. First issue is discrimination and misjudgment, especially for these entertainers. Okay, there are many local communities, and to them they have this misjudgment. They thought that when they go overseas, doing something wrong. Okay. For example, I want to show you once. So one lady is Melissa. Okay, Melissa said to me, I work in Japan as this entertainers from the late 1990s, and come back 2004, and bought a lot of money, come back home. Some local people started to call them Japayuki, okay, Japayuki, and say that I did the wrong thing in Japan for making money. Even my husband and thought I had an affair with some Japanese guys. So this made me so angry and heartbroken. I'm his wife and his mother, the mother of his 2 children. He should trust and protect me. Okay. Since then, I don't want to live with him anymore. Also, I keep distance from my neighbors and old friends. Just in here, so do you understand? Do you know this Japayuki? So probably based on this talk, you already know this meaning. Okay, Japayuki. I guess many people understand. Okay, Japayuki is 1930s or 1970s. a lot of young Filipino women went to Japan, work in the nightclub. So they're doing, what are they doing? They sing song, dance, okay, sing song, dance, and also complaining to the guests. Sometimes the looks, okay, some people got confusing, looks them, this type of job, just like in this, like a nightclub, talk about it looks like doing this like postures, this type of work. Okay. So the Japanese wiki is basically means like that. Okay, so it's not good words, it's bad meaning. Okay. And this type of we talk about discrimination and misjudgment. Okay. And the other problems, major problem is unemployment. So when they're back home, have big trouble is couldn't find a job. We understand Philippines since 1980s, okay, start from 1980s, continue for 20 years, 30 years. The economic development is not really good, like a shape. So most of those people, when they go back, very hard to find a job. Sometimes they have a job and they only want to hire some people younger than 24 years. So if these people more than 24 years, they say it's too old. So for them, it's so hard to find this type of job, find the job. And the other problem is the sharp contrast between overseas and home in terms of living standard, salaries, and you know, and the living situations in Philippines and overseas is quite very, very different. For example, okay, some lady said to me, so when she worked in the South Korea, she's working in the factories. Each month she can get 35,000 peso. That means 800 American dollars. But when she back home, she find a job in this like a supermarket. She only can get $120 per month. So one is $800 per month, and the other one is $120 per month. That's a very big difference. Okay, also have many other significant difference. So for this, a lot of returnees, first time when they get home, they find it very, very hard to adjust it. Okay, so at the beginning, and the returnees decline some job because the pay is very, very low. Okay, so this is one problem, and another one, decline in social status. So what this means, what this problem is, okay, when this labor migrants, when they're working overseas, they make quite a lot of money compared with in Philippines. So when they talk in the family, because they become families like breadwinners, so when they talk in family issues, their decisions, their opinions get sort of respected by their family members. But when they go back, for a long time they couldn't find a job. They use out. Okay, they save the money. They don't have money. Also, they struggle to find a job. So some family members start to complain, say that these people cannot help family anymore. Complain them. So those people become quite frustrated. Also, they feel hopeless and useless. Okay. My suggestion. Okay, so I had some suggestion. Okay, so how can deal with these problems? So first of all, I think the government and the NGO, local communities should prevent any discrimination and misjudgment to those returnees. Okay. And the second one, to provide more support for employment. First, okay, I really think that the other people also they find out for Asian migrants before they went back, they don't have this very good policy or program. They just send the money go back. But when they send the money go back for their life spends, support their family members. But when they got back, they don't have this business investment. Okay, so this is why when they go back, they couldn't have a job. So this is why we need to have to provide the more support for this local employment. Particularly more courage should encouragement from these families. So we need to understand that during those people, they sacrificed the Vietnamese labor migrants. They sacrificed almost their life to help the families. So when they go back, they need family members to support them. So family members should do something, okay, help them. And to returnees, they need more realistic as comparing local and overseas living standards, okay. So we cannot, okay, we understand that like local and overseas, particularly in some developed countries, this difference we cannot solve it during very short time. So we need realistic when you compare. Okay, you cannot say, oh, overseas I got huge money, but now I got so little money. So if you compare with this, that will be hurt you more. And returnees should have positive spirit to face the challenge. Just like some returnees said to me, okay, they say that when we come back, okay, we have this problem. We should positively to solve that. And also they point out, they said that overseas we can overcome these foreign cultures and survive working overseas. Now we come back, we should be more. We should be more capable to handle this problem because our culture's language is same, and also we have family support. So we should be more easy to overcome this problem back home. And so this okay. Now I want to use some point to conclude my talk. First. Okay, the returnees have major changes in personal identities and social behaviors, but not much about the family ties and the religion. Second point, okay, there is some positive effects. Major support local development, creative, independent, follow laws, and wise use time and money. Negative impact. So let's talk about arrogant, family broken, unfaithful, smoking, drinking, and materialistic. The next one, 4 reintegration issues identified and calls for joint efforts. Next one, transnational migration is shaping social cultures, habitats of returnees, and affecting their local community. Finally, future research on this international labor migration should move towards studying returnees and reintegration issues. So this is all I want to talk. Okay. I want to take some questions and comments. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So open it up for some questions or comments. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I ask, what are the reasons for returnees returning? Because my impression here in Hong Kong is that domestic helpers in the main will stay here as long as they possibly can. sometimes, in some cases, for decades. And the only reasons they'll return is if their contracts are terminated, or if they've been mistreated. And that seems to be the only thing that drives them back to the Philippines. Otherwise, they resist that. And even after returning, in many, many cases, they will struggle again to return to Hong Kong once more. And so, and given all the re-entry problems they face while there, you can see why that would be the case. So why do they go back to the Philippines anyway?
Okay, that's a very good comment. Okay, I think that most people, okay, they want to stay here as longer as they can, or when they go back, or they want to come back. But also, we should understand sometimes the family issues, or parents are so old, they need them to look after, and so this is why they have to choose to go back. I know other things, or maybe they didn't get along with these employers, or for some other reason, for health issues, they want to go back. But mostly, they said still each year, they probably around more than 1 million people go back. So each year, total now 5 million migrants working overseas. Each year, 1 million new one come out, and same figure, almost the same figures go back. Yeah, that's my comment. Okay. How about the other?
I have a comment and a suggestion and a question. The first suggestion was when you talk about the positives and the negatives
Yes.
of the results. I was unclear who was saying which. It sounded like the positives were coming from the interviewee, the people you were interviewing. So they were saying these are the positive things that came about upon my return.
Yeah.
But the negatives sounded like they were coming from the larger community, saying like, oh, they're more materialistic. So I wasn't sure which part was the positive. Is it, or are they mixed? I guess just for when the writing, I just make it a little clear of which interlocutor was saying.
Both is positive and negative. This comments is from this local community members. And so because I talked to interview them, I wanted them to tell me, okay, how do you feel to evaluate when these returnees come back, they will maybe going to have change this local culture, social. Which one you think is a positive one? Which one you think is a negative one? So they ranked it for me. Okay, so positive one and negative one from them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And my question was, I'm fascinating too. I was wondering if you were able to. This wasn't part of your study, but if you could comment on, what the family dynamic changes amongst families who go for such prolonged periods of time without mothers or wives. I mean, this is a future study, but the sociocultural impacts of women being away for large groups of women from a local community being gone for so long.
Yeah, actually this is very important as the question or issues. Mainly, this people study this migration. They are working on these issues.
Okay.
During my research, I find this like this. I talked to this some young kids. Okay, young kids at the beginning. So they are when they're young, they couldn't understand this. Their parents, the mother, especially the mother, sacrificed a lot for them. But when they get a little bit old, so when I interview people around 20, 21, 22, they started to understand. They said that the parents, the mother, particularly mother, sacrificed for her or for his futures to make money, support them to go to school. So they said they realized them how important and how great the mother did for them. But at the beginning, when they're young, they don't understand this. But when the age is going to grow up a little bit, so they're more appreciate a lot for their parents, especially mother. Yeah.
I'd like to ask about 2 points. First, about personal identity and social behavior.
Yeah.
So from what I know, those who migrate out of the Philippines, some of them also are involved in some political activities, like getting engaged in social movements back home and in host countries where they are, including in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So I was wondering whether in any of those interviewees that you have encountered, especially in Laguna is where many hardcore political activists would come from, and in Central Luzon, in Nueva Ecija, that's where these hardcore political activists also came from. In your interviews, I'd like to see the political change, the political aspect of behavioral change, and the political aspect of person's identity. Identity as a Filipino and identity as a Filipino in a host country. So I'd like you, whether you came across that, could comment on that.
Okay. For the first question, okay, I also during my research, I found out this. Okay, I found some returnees, they start to organize to have this group. Okay, for example, they're going to say, they are going to election, maybe they are going to support which one against another one. Okay, they are going to say, we want to have more voice. Okay, to say, to make this country become better. Before they just individually, okay. But when they go back, I know some people they start to say to me, they organize some like a political group. I find out this. But for this time I didn't. And even for someone, they started to criticize local government, and they talked to me about this current government. They don't like them or something. But for me, I want to. I just try to just stand a little bit away for this kind of political stuff. But I find out they already have that one. But the second one, your second question is, what's the second part? About the second one, you have a second question?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Just coming back to Tom's question about young mothers who leave young children.
Yeah.
There's a book called Made to Order that I read some years ago. I recall in there that this sort of behavior is held against domestic helpers by their employers. They tend to look upon young mothers who do this as somehow immoral and irresponsible and uncaring. And so in this way it becomes another source of stigmatization, actually. And another way, I guess, in which to, I don't know, contain or identify and belittle domestic helpers who do this. So I wondered if you'd come across this thesis and...
Okay. I find this, I think it's in 2002, when I first time came to Hong Kong, just in Lefu, okay. When I was there, during this lunchtime, I think that's Sunday, I met one lady, it's a young lady. She come to me, we had a talk, and she said her son, just 6 months baby, and he come here to look after other people's children. When she talked to me, and she started to cry, tear. I feel so badly. Okay, I feel so badly. But sometimes I thought, maybe the government policy should have this policy. If some mother, some lady, when they just get a young baby, or maybe between 3 years baby, shouldn't allow them come out. But when I talked to this lady, and this lady said to me, if you have this type of policy, and maybe these women, they won't get married, or they won't give a baby. It's not good too. So I'm not quite sure which one they should go. Okay, but definitely I think from this both government, like the Philippine government and also the host government, they should have policy encourage people if you get married, particularly when you have young children, you should stay home for some time, for some years, at least 3 years or 5 years, something like that. It's good for children too. Otherwise, too small, two children come out, mother is not there, it's not really good. I really think this one, this kind of social policy, government policy should address that one. Just like today, like in mainland China, we talk about this parents come to other side to find a job and leave these children home and so many social problems. So I think that now they're going to address this issue. Okay.
Is there any chance that the Filipino economy itself will improve so that it will become less reliant on remittances?
Yes, I think so. I really think that the Philippines, Philippines in 1970s, actually Asia is quite good. They say the economic development. Number one is Japan, number two is the Philippines. During that time, probably not too many people, not like today, so many like labor migrants go overseas. Especially when you have looked at this Philippines, people when they finish the first degree, finish master degree, they're going to migrate overseas. Why? Because they don't have much job in there in Philippines. So if we have more job in Philippines, definitely I think we wouldn't have so many Filipino people go outside. Especially when you this time when I was in the Philippines, I found some doctors, Philippines doctors, they want to get some training nurse and go overseas, go to Canada, become a nurse. I said, you're a doctor now, why you want to study nurse and later on migrate to Canada or United States, become a nurse? And so this guy said to me, the salary in Canada's nurse salary is probably 8 times higher than doctors in Philippines. My friend, okay, so she's one professor in National University of Philippines. She told me, she said that her salary is similar or less than her cousin. Her cousin working in Hong Kong as domestic helpers. Her salary is even more than her. She's a professor in there. Mm-hmm. I said, it's not possible. She said to me, that is true. I said, why are you still working here? And then she told me, she said, because the house, government supported the house. And also, she got a scholarship from government, went to Australia, started PhD. She feel she have this like a responsibility or opportunity, like she need working there. So, but I just thought if like just go back to you mentioned that. So if we like Philippines develop a little bit more, go back, and I'm sure probably not too many people go out. I find recently in the Philippines, simply economic getting improved, isn't it? But I just hope they can improve more and more, so that people can find a job there, so they don't have to go overseas. Too many people go overseas.
There's no other questions? I guess we'll...
Go ahead. This is a fascinating topic, actually, especially here in Hong Kong. But the Hong Kong government has a policy of not allowing mainland Chinese to serve as domestic helpers here in Hong Kong. What's the reason for that? I mean, they're exclusively sourced from South Asia.
I tell you what, I honestly, sometimes I talk to a friend, okay, my friend, Hong Kong friend, okay. I said, why have this kind of, why they have this kind of policy? But they tell me this because mainland people, they say we are same cultures. They say we are same cultures. They come here, They say that very hard to control. They say very hard to control them. Control this many the people from mainland, and another thing. Okay, it's a very bad thing. Okay, they say that because maybe they come here, same cultures, they're going to steal like other people's husband or something. This is like steal husband. So they don't want to. But I really don't know why Hong Kong government they can employ this. Before I thought why they employ the Filipinos because they speak very good English. Okay, that's one thing. Before I understand, I said okay, this is a good reason to hire Filipinos. But later on, I find they hire these people from Thailand, from the Indonesia. Okay. There's many Indonesian people they cannot speak English. I really don't know, okay, because probably the salary is low. Salary when they hire Indonesian people, the salary is quite low. So I really have to. Can you repeat this? Because
my husband told me that it might be a kind of political reason. Political reason, and also the policy of importing mainland Chinese to Hong Kong is kind of like more complicated.
Okay. So this is why they don't want to come over.
Yeah.
I mean, what we hear is that the government wants to racialize this kind of servitude and make this labor force even more docile and controllable. I mean, there's a long tradition of servitude in mainland China, so I can't see that they're going to go any harder to control than Filipinos can be. So in consequence, it looks to me like this is an easy way of containing and stigmatizing a certain element of the labor force here, and so it better perpetuates control.
Yeah, I think probably
If mainland Chinese were to come here, it would raise the status of the profession, and the government doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah. And probably in another sense, based on my experience, and probably if the mainland, like we talk about domestic workers, they didn't have good training, and also maybe the working attitudes is not really good as this Indonesians and Filipinos. This I thought, okay, because I know I had a friend working living in the mainland. They hire people. They have these domestic helpers from China. They always have problems. They always have a problem, and so some domestic helpers they're not responsible, and so they don't want to work. Every time I heard about this, so I probably this too generalized. But I feel when I'm dealing with, I had many friends from the Filipinos, and also I live there. I know some Indonesian people. I find they're working very good and they are very nice. If I want to hire someone, probably I'm hiring too. So these are just based on my feeling that I haven't done this kind of research. Okay, do you have any question?
If not, we'd like to thank Dr. Yu this afternoon.